Call this Public Works meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Ms. Schmidt?
Here.
Mr. Temperley?
Here.
Mr. Pickard?
Here.
Mr. Laird?
Here. That brings us up to the correction and approval of minutes from December. Assuming that we've all had time to look at it, does anybody wish to make a motion if it looks good?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? Can we do a roll call vote then?
We can.
Okay.
Mr.
Ah.
Temperley?
Aye.
Mr. Pickard?
Aye.
Mr. Laird?
Aye.
Ms. Schmidt?
Aye.
Motion passed 4-0.
Is it okay if I do that normally? Just because I'll be consistently that way?
Sure.
All right. That brings us to questions and public comment. Seeing a whole lot of open chairs, that will move us on to discussion and recommendation for the parcel on Tower Street. Is this the one where our old water tower used to be?
Yes,
Yep.
this is right here. You can kind of see the pedestals.
Mm-hmm.
There are 40,000 pound pedestals sitting there, plus some building material and concrete and some water main. Several years ago, you determined that you didn't want to buy additional land in the area because it didn't seem reasonable to put another water tower back there. I asked the council and they have directed me to start negotiating on the sale. Give you a little idea what we're looking at. We're looking at trying to get a cul-de-sac in here on the end of Tower Street. Right now it just dead ends off the edge of the hill. This house is coming down. Here's a vacant lot. Here's a vacant lot, and here's a vacant lot. For years they've been trying to get this lot to be a little bit bigger. This is Noah Kopp. And he runs a business in town, and he's trying to get a garage shed area there to be able to work out of. And so these two lots are kind of crucial in that, providing a little more real estate here and then shifting it. I don't know ultimately if we'll have to do any shifting, but to clean the lot up, to get the cul-de-sac up into space and get all the lots buildable, it's advisable for us to sell that lot. It's obviously not, it's worth about $33,400 if it were a clean lot. It's not. You've got to remove all those concrete pedestals and all the other material out of it and level it up, and so it needs some work. We're going to sit down and start negotiating on it and see what we can get out of it. Are there any questions?
So I'm assuming the cost of the cul-de-sac and the cleanup is gonna come out of the land sale then? Or how's that gonna work out? Is that gonna be a water utility expense or a street expense?
We haven't decided that yet. We have to look at how the process falls out there. It definitely won't be a water utility expense.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll be a street department expense, but the acquisition of some of the right-of-way might be a swap between the two. And then we're just gonna kind of work from there. It really depends on how it falls out. I'm assuming that ultimately the homeowner or the builder in the area, the property owner, was talking about essentially doing everything but putting down the asphalt and the concrete, digging it all out, putting down all the rock, getting it all prepared to be constructed on, and then he was also going to do all the cleanup on the other side. But we haven't really got past that initial stage yet, and so I just got approval the last council meeting. We've been rather busy the last couple weeks when we weren't on vacation, so it's been trying to catch up. So I just wanted to make sure that you were up to date on this, and if there are any questions that I see if I could answer them.
You mentioned there's vacant lots on the, I guess, the top part of the street, right? And the one house is coming down?
This right here is a vacant lot.
Uh-huh.
This lot has a house on it, but it's been empty for 15 years.
Really? Even with the
Yeah,
housing crunch, people aren't interested, or?
The people who own it own this house.
Oh, okay.
And at the time, they weren't interested in having any neighbors. They owned this lot,
Oh, really?
this lot, and this lot. And now they're at the point where they're looking at constructing homes, and this lot, they would kind of reshape and put a home back in here, so the cul-de-sac would work. This one would, but you got to remember, Tower Street's got a funny grade to it. And particularly in this area, from this lot to this lot, it was, what, an 8%? It was not very mowable.
No.
Yeah, so it was pretty tough to mow. So that was one of the reasons we were looking at getting them leveled off. At the time, we were thinking about running the cul-de-sac down into here, and but the way the cul-de-sac had to lay out, it cut into this lot so much that it made it not buildable. So then we started looking at some other options, and this lot up here is several lots. There's a couple parcels back in here, which makes it a pretty good sized lot. So bringing the cul-de-sac up into here, if we keep it a little bit smaller than normal, probably consistent with what we did at North Shore, would probably make it work. The key is to make two things. The key is to make it big enough to turn a fire truck around in, and the other one is to make it plowable with a snowplow turning around. Snowplow isn't too bad. The fire truck is the bigger one. Anything we do here is better than what we have right now. So, especially if you're going to get two houses here and two houses up here, it's not too bad of a deal.
So which house did you say wanted more land, or which lot?
That's this one right here.
And you said that the homeowner to the north owns the adjacent lot?
This one right here?
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. So that homeowner to the left doesn't actually need land from the city?
No,
Okay,
they need land from the other homeowner or
Okay.
the other property owner. But what they were trying to do is shift this line this way and this line this way.
right.
Eventually, it was determined that they could shift that property line, and between these two, they could still get two full lots. I think this one is about 83.
They're all about
8,300 square feet. And the requirement for lots in this area is, I think, is 72, 74, something
So the
like
goals
that.
of the city are to get in a cul-de-sac and get some money for some property that we own there.
Get some houses up there.
Yeah.
Get
and
some,
property
you get
income.
some additional lots, that's good for us.
Right. And to sell the land, which is
Yep.
income as well.
Well, you answered most of my questions. I have just one left. Are you putting a sidewalk in for the rest of what's there?
There is sidewalk up some of it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, generally what we do is we require the homeowner when the new building goes in to put a sidewalk in across the front.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, we would finish up across it. We're not gonna go all the way around the cul-de-sac, it's a little tight. But we would go up to the end of the cul-de-sac probably, somehow. There's a school tennis court there.
Mm-hmm.
People used to access that tennis court from this end.
Really?
And so having a cul-de-sac there where they could park and then having a sidewalk that kind of ran back to that area there might be a benefit,
I
yeah.
thought it was hilly there.
I thought it was hilly there too. The only time I remember going there is when we were on the bus and we tried backing out.
Yeah.
Or the really steep hill is to the south.
Yes, this is a substantial bank.
Yeah.
As I understand, that's an old gravel pit on the east side there.
That would make sense.
The football field that's why they're down low,
Right.
it was a gravel pit.
And that's that is such a steep slope, that makes a lot of sense. I never knew that.
Yeah, it's not natural.
Yeah.
I don't think it's natural.
So the details exactly how this is all who's gonna buy what and.
That's not hammered out yet.
Right,
There's some other
right.
questions I still have to ask.
So, and the work for the cul-de-sac has to come out of the general fund.
Yeah, yeah.
Although it is an improvement to the street by far, if the city is giving up a piece of property and gaining a cul-de-sac out of it, I'm still not real clear why the city would be paying to build that cul-de-sac. So that's part of what you're going to be negotiating. Okay, because it's going to be definitely benefit
Yeah.
the property owners, that both the one who wants to add on to his lot as well as the ones who wants to build, that I'm not sure the taxpayers should have to be involved.
Typically, we don't, in fact, I can't remember when we've done a CSM where we've had public improvements in it, other than maybe the forest one.
Yeah, we have done them. But it's not, on the other hand, it might not be totally fair to the property owners to have to foot the whole bill for a cul-de-sac when everybody on the street would benefit from it.
Right, and that's what we have to figure out, is at what point we're gaining or we're not gaining, and that, so we're gonna have to try and calculate that out, and then see what because the value of the lot, while it's 33.4, if he's gonna remove all the public infrastructure off and level it out and make it buildable, that takes a lot, and that, you subtract that from the initial value of the lot, because that lot's value isn't going up because he's removing all that. That 33.4 is what it would be if it was a clean lot. So
Okay.
you're looking at it and you're going, well, okay, all this subtracts from the value of the lot, so now you have a lot and you're gaining a little more land over here, and he's doing some of the basic construction on the roadway. At what point do we now come to the point where, yeah, you've got to pay some for the right of way, or we just barter it out in the cost of the land? And those are the kind of questions that we have to ask.
Okay.
And we haven't, we had some preliminary discussions with the property owner. They changed about 6 times in the course of a week in December. So, we're now to the point where the city knows that we've got something that we're interested in. We'll sit down and finalize that out.
Okay.
There's no timeline on this, right? Because we had it for years.
Yeah, from our standpoint, there's not. The fact that there's interest in it helps but there is a house that's been ordered and is sitting. And so they're trying to get that, they got like a Wassa home ready to go up on the one lot. And it's been ready since November. So yeah, I'm sure that's costing them something every day that's occurring. So they're a little bit more motivated than we are. But yeah.
When we originally looked at Tower Street, did we look at it because of the condition of the road, or did we look at it because of the lot that was there?
The lot.
The
We
lot.
looked at the water tower site and the existing infrastructure on it, and
Okay.
some of the things we might be looking at doing. At one point in time, we weren't sure if the water main still ran from Tower Street down to campus. It might still be there, but it's been disconnected. So it's not really a relevant
Okay.
part of the discussion anymore. We looked at the water main that was there that ran to the water tower from Tower Street. When it went under the curb, it was like 3 feet deep. I don't know if you remember that conversation. That's not really a good situation. All the concrete there, once it's exposed, so we thought we could lift them off. Nah, you're gonna have to bust them up in place.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were mowing it, and it was really difficult to mow because it was such a steep grade. So the leveling it off would help. Now not having to mow it anymore at all would be an advantage too. We mow that sucker a long time for not a lot of gain. As soon as it moves forward farther, I'll bring it back. I just wanted you guys up to speed on where we're at and what the council, we had had a discussion about it at council. I wanted you to be there too.
Is there any further discussion on this part?
Nope, I don't see any problem with it.
Is there anything else that you guys wish to talk about now or later? Say next month?
Well, I think that there were several questions on Sandy Beach that I could have answered. So I don't know if we want to wait until the next meeting or if we want to figure out how we can, it's, all right, so what we'll do is we'll add that to the next meeting so I can answer those questions for you. So they aren't going to be final answers because there are too many options involved in all of them, but I'll give you an idea of how I've structured it. So like when you approve the budget, it was in there, in that budget. And it was laid out in both the capital budget where it wrote out, and then it was in the other budget.
But not for the next year. It was a follow-on.
It was in 20s, but it was,
Right.
it was part of the
Yeah.
5-year plan. It wasn't in water, so let you know that.
Oh, I think I sent you and Dan an email. I support Ian being in the fire department, but I was wondering maybe for long term if we should have back the 7 o'clock meetings on either another night. Since we're such a bedroom community, I mean, I work from home, so I can make a 5 o'clock meeting, but most people cannot.
If we get people who are interested and that's an issue, we'll have to debate it again. Right now,
Okay,
I don't see it as being a huge issue. I know we love it.
yeah, I know. Dwayne and I were talking about for the meeting, yeah, you guys just walk across the hallway and you're done.
It's nice.
But
And,
no, yeah, no, because I know Hope's trying to get someone too to fill the township seat, and I mean, if I was still working at Craft, I wouldn't be able to do it because I had to work till 5 at Craft. But I mean, I can do it, but now my new job. But
Yeah, and that's something we'll have to kind of work through as we do, but right now it works out. We keep Ian, and we continue to move
Yeah.
forward.
So if there is inquiries about it, don't just say it's at 5, say it's, right, say it's at 5 right now, but it could be adjusted back to 7 on some other night,
yeah,
if interested.
except Friday night.
Generally, I would think that if we're going to make the shift, it would be something that was like, okay, we got 2 people that are joining in, that has to be 7. Because if we gain 1 to lose 1, we're not benefiting anything.
And like, for all rights and purposes too, I can be flexible too. It was just, if I could, I was gonna try and I was gonna kind of see what happens really. And part of me was also thinking we've had the vacancies open for a while. I thought I'd just use this as an option to try and see, hey, it's a different time. Let's see if we get any other interest.
I put a link on one of the Facebook pages today.
Perfect.
People seem to go more for Facebook than the website.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Is there
Are
anything
you on
else that
other
we need?
agenda items? Just really quick, we'll get you the information on the yard waste costs. I think, Todd, you asked about that. And then we are looking at a new utility billing system that kind of complements the AMI and may save us a couple of dollars. So we'll see if we've got everything together for February. We'll present that to you also.
How close are we with AMI?
Can I answer this?
You were in other recommendations and stuff, it's
we-
just gathering information.
Okay. We've got about 400 water meters installed, about 200 electric meters installed. We've got one little piece of computer glitch we need to clear up, which we're working on for Thursday, and after that, we should be able to really move forward on it, which I think I've said a number of times, but I think we've got it figured out where we can get going now.
That's a decent number of meters that have been switched out though. That's pretty good.
We're getting there, slowly but surely.
So that will be an agenda item in the future.
All right.
So will American Way.
Is that the American Way and American Way, the Brookstone Platte and CP Avenue that we were talking about last time too?
Yeah, it's all together in that one, so it's CP Avenue extended south, and it's American Way south of the Wallace Park and then American Way as part of the next phase of Brookstone, which is like, I don't know, 800 feet, 1,000 feet.
Come back as it got closer.
Yeah, because it's right there in American Way. It's just those two cul-de-sacs to the south. Actually, it's one cul-de-sac and one dead end. And then the other half is up on the other end by, I think it's Honeysuckle.
And so we talked about that
Yeah.
a month or two ago, and there was a desire to bring it back as it was being bid, or not?
As it was, well, the bids, we've gone out to bid, we'll be going out to bid here in the next week. So you'll probably be looking at bids.
Perfect.
I hope. I won't guarantee it because I haven't had any contact with our engineer. He's in Kenya. Climbing mountains. Can't go to Rib Mountain.
Is there anything else that you guys would like to talk about for next month?
Well, last month we talked about lead service line loan program or something.
We're going to see which meeting that rolls to because we're putting together multiple options for how to structure it. So
And there's nothing we need to know about that test bed that's been going on too?
just started today, didn't it?
The corrosion test will officially begin on Monday. So we can, I don't know what we'll have for next month, but we can update you probably on that and the radium tests also.
Okay.
See, it's good we start at 5 because it'll probably take us till 10 to get through all this.
Is there anything else that you guys have?
We haven't heard anything on South Main Street. Next Tuesday will be the bid opening for Mulberry. So, yeah.
So will we have 2 bids to look at then for next month?
Well, Mulberry is another state one,
Mm.
so
Okay.
it'll be the same as South Main Street.
So it might or might
What
not
we're looking
happen.
forward to is pre-cons.
And the state approves that, the city doesn't, correct?
No, it's state approved. They call us and say, are you going to accept your part of the bid? But it's not really much of an option. I hope there are no issues with government shutdown stuff. I have been sweating that a little bit.
Anything else? All right, it's 5:23, meeting adjourned.